Bonjour à tous, hello everyone, welcome back to Mac Island, and this is episode number 7. A quick reminder, in the last episode we built a wind power farm just to try to make some profit. We added also a few parks, including one on an island, and completed also some high school amenities like costume, football field and tennis courts. Now in today's episode, it is time to expand our island with a new city. We need more population to get more taxes because seriously we're getting broke. So you're gonna see that along our highway we're gonna create a whole new road that's gonna go around the new city like a collector, and this new city is gonna have mostly some medium density and housing. But also, while I was building this, the French pack came out, so we're also gonna introduce it into the build. I actually wasn't expecting that pack, so a lot of things were built without it, but then when it came out, I had to change my mind. But anyway, let's jump into it. So I have been eyeing that piece of land. I thought that was a perfect place to create or expand our city, a new neighborhood. Now for now it's just going to be a city by itself, but at the end it might be a whole neighborhood just because the city is going to be the whole island. So I don't know why I'm having so many issues creating a tunnel over here, but this is not the first time and I don't think the tunnels look very good. So let's just go back into the road. So my idea is to have that collector road going all around over there, just like a main road where all of the other road are gonna feed to. Now here you can see right now I just made it as a dirt road just to see if I was happy with the layout of the road, if I was conforming to the terrain. But now I think I'm gonna make it as a highway, 4-lane highway, 2 in each ways. And this is a reason why. It's because I think that it needs to be a fast and quick access to the main interstate first of all, but also the city itself. Now obviously that giant road cannot be a cul-de-sac or a dead end, so we're gonna create an interchange at each point where the highway meets the interstate. And this one I'm gonna make it very simple. We're gonna use the terrain to help us to go over the highway. I have 2 roundabouts to make a smooth connection between the entry point and the exit point of the highway and the interstate, and we're gonna slope gently and have long line because I'm assuming a lot of people are gonna be using that in the future. So we're gonna make sure we have also some exit lanes on the highways so people don't back up on the highway, and the same for the entry. We're gonna have a long entryway. So now here this didn't get changed into a bridge, so let's do that. And also we're gonna use retaining wall all around, and we're gonna with the slope over here and make sure everything is perfectly level so it looks as smooth as possible. So I think we're running into a problem. That wind power farm that we just built is getting flooded, and I think that the level of water are actually increasing on my map. I've been suspicious of this for a while, but just this proved my point. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I have the seasonal precipitation mod that could create this. I need to look a bit more into it, but that's scaring me. So let's go back into the build. Here you see I'm going with a grid, a tight grid. I went with a normal road, but I feel like the road ratio to the square was too big, so I'm gonna use that smaller road that I created earlier to make some kind of alleyway with sidewalk that also looks like the actual road. The same kind of material is used, so it doesn't look like an alleyway too much. It's just gonna be a thinner road, and I'm gonna do that all around and just leave a few main points with parking on the road. The idea is to have a neighborhood that's very dense and worker friendly as well. Now because of my weird road that I custom created, I actually have a zoning grid that's not very friendly to work with, so I'm gonna have to plop most of my building. So I was thinking about getting some row housing over there, and we're gonna use the 3 unit on one side, another 2 unit on each side over there, and we're gonna make it very very dense. So this, they have like a beautiful view over the water over here, and then after these squares, row of squares are done, we're gonna go with just single home housing. So we might have an issue. We need power, we need water, so let's get all of this added here. So we're gonna follow with that power line the road over here and connect to the grid just like this. Now for the water, we're gonna go all the way here, follow the road and connect to our grid right there. We should not be all connected up, and it looks like only the water went, not the sewage. So let's try to fix this. I'm gonna in the meantime zone everything with regular single home. Let's try to figure out this issue. We're just gonna do this over here, and the problem seems to have disappeared. So I don't know what was wrong, but here we go. Now we're gonna add some commercial just to have some businesses so people don't need to go all the way to the city to get some groceries or gas or stuff like this. Here the terrain is not very helpful, so we are gonna flatten a bit the area just to increase the grid. I mean, again, we are building a lot over here, and it's costing a lot of money with the service that we're gonna need to add here. So we're just keeping the same kind of grid, but I need just more population in here to have more taxes revenues. Again, we're gonna separate these two by just a little row of commercials, but actually, you know what, I need some services here. I need a police station, a fire station, and a medical clinic. So all of this is going to be very costly, but I'm going to try to use the smallest one. In the meantime, I think roundabout over there are the best way to connect the collectors from the local street, and we're gonna do the same thing. So 2 access points on each way like this, and I'm gonna have another neighborhood created in the middle of the highway like this. This one is gonna be based on a different kind of architecture. I'm thinking about something similar than the south, but we're gonna have more trees here. I want something more grand. Now, something that my city is struggling with, and I don't know if it's just broken in the city or it's just that I don't have the demand, but my commercial demand is 100% gone. Nothing is growing. So I try to fiddle a bit with the taxes. I had high taxes before because I was broke, and now just because I have no demand whatsoever, I put my taxes to 6%, and yet nothing is building. So I still have not figured out the problem with this. When I looked into the dongle of the taxes, you're gonna see that actually there is nothing about the commercials. Comparing it to the residential, where they're gonna tell you, hey, we don't have a demand because of the high taxes. But anyway, let's go back to what I'm building right now. So I'm still trying to grow some commercials along the main road and the avenues, and here you're seeing that the rest is getting grown by a bunch of single house, but I actually think it's not dense enough, so I will plop a bunch of single row units just like I did on the other area, with only like a width of about 2, I think. And here I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. It's still pretty hard to get the road to align to the grid, you know, and to make like a perfect connection so we don't lose any tiles, but I think I'm getting the gist of it now. I'm getting used to the way City Skyline is working, and you have always like the little kinks that you need to find out and figure out, but I'm getting there, I think. So right there, this is just gonna be the same as what we did on the other side of that road, and we're gonna have also some bigger point of entry street right there. Unfortunately, it's gonna kind of broke my grid, but I think that's the best way to do it. And while we're at it, we're gonna create a special area over there. So as I was mentioning earlier, so we're going with 2 units of row housing. And because these small alleys that we have don't really have room for parking, we actually gonna have to put a bunch of parking lot all around the neighborhood, unfortunately. My recording did not work. I actually added quite a few things, including a special thing on this area on the left over there, but all of this was not recorded. Now the next thing you're gonna see is the game launch with the update with the French building. Amazing, right? So I was thinking to use this avenue over here as a focal point, and one of these things you see on the French Riviera or in actually French city all around the country, with just just like a main road and big building all around it, and I'm going to try to make it more walkable in the future. So I figure that actually growing this building will not give me what I want in terms of aspect, because I want the building to be in a similar kind of architecture. I know they all are in the back, but because of the colors it's not always the same. But this is just a little preview of what's gonna happen in the next episode. I actually have so much more that I'm gonna build with these assets. Let's take a look at everything we achieved today. Et voilà, this is the end of the episode. Encore merci à tous. Thank you so much everyone for following us today. French Pack just got released. This is incredible new asset coming to town. I love this. I have so much for you to see on next week, so I hope to catch you soon. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.